It's that time of year where you start to see ribeye roasts on sale in most grocery stores, and I wanted to invite you to tag along while we run a method test. I love getting these roasts to cut down into really thick steaks to grill, but I'm always questioning which cooking method is best. In this video, we're going to run two of the most popular grilled ribeye steak methods against each other and crown a winner. I'm David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab, and I love testing the various methods that are out there to cook with. When I'm cooking a ribeye steak, I tend to default to the reverse sear method, where you bring the steak up low and slow in a lower heat environment to sear it at the end. Now that's my default, and I think it's delicious. If you ask Google how you should prepare a steak, here's the #1 recommended answer. It says to preheat your grill to high heat, generously season the steak with salt and pepper, sear each side for 2 to 3 minutes to create a crust, then move to a cooler part of the grill and cook until your desired doneness using a meat thermometer, typically aiming for 130 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit for medium rare, and then let the steak rest for 5 to 10 minutes before slicing and serving. So the question remains, which method is better? Should we sear it first, or should we reverse sear at the end? We're going to test them both, so let's get to it. We have these ribeye steaks from Porter Road, and you can see that they are some thick cut, bone-in ribeye steaks. We have one for each method. We're gonna go ahead and get them seasoned up. Let's break into the package. We've even got a bone guard on these to make sure that they don't break through the vacuum seal from Porter Road. I really like that in vacuum sealed meats. That's a really nice addition. We're seasoning the steak today with our Essential Equation salt, pepper, garlic blend, and this is available right now from our website. If you just go to shop.thebarbecuelab.com, you can buy this salt, pepper, garlic blend that we're using for this test, and you can recreate this test at home. So if you want to check that out, it's just now live where you can get it for yourself. We're going to put a healthy coat of this on the outside because this salt, pepper, garlic mix is going to be perfect for what this steak needs, but this is still a lot of meat, so a good healthy coat is what we need to put on each of these steaks. I don't want to forget the sides. Make sure that we get the sides as well, not just the top and bottom. One of the things I love about this blend is that it has a couple different sizes of salt. It has one size that will dissolve very quickly and one that will stick around and give us a nice crunch on this steak for later. We have our steaks seasoned up. Now we just need to get them up to room temperature, but we're not going to get to room temperature out here. Out here is about 35 or 40 degrees today, so we need to take them inside to get them up to room temperature before we're ready to grill. If you want to check out any of the gear that we're using today, there are links down in the description. Pricing is always changing, and if you want to see that price, just click the link down in the description below. We also have discount codes available for a lot of this gear, and you can find those codes down there as well. We're going to be using the ARG grill from Renaissance Cooking Systems for today's video, and I'm going to set this up so that we have a sear zone on the far right side and a cool zone on the left side using this 3-burner gas grill. So here's what that's going to look like. The middle and the left burner, I don't want to be set to super high because I'm going to sear on the right. So I want to turn this middle and this left down to low. Now we just need to let the grill come up to temperature, and it's time to cook some steak. Today we're going to use the RFX system from ThermalWorks to monitor our temperatures in the meat and on the grill. With the RFX system, we're going to use this gateway and this air temperature probe to find out what our temperature is running on the cold side of the grill. So let's come over and get that set up. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the gateway. We have our blue light. We'll wait for that to go ahead and move to green. There we go. Our gateway is ready. All we have to do is put this on the grate over here on our cool side. So I'll set the gateway over here. Go ahead and take this and put it over here on our cool side of the grill so we have an idea what our grill is running on that cool side where we're going to be doing our low and slow portion of the cook. It's time to put the reverse sear steak on the cool side of the grill, but first we've got to go ahead and get our RFX meat thermometer inside the steak. I'm just going to pull it out of the charging block here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to measure where exactly I want this to go in. And I want this to go in right here in the center of the steak. So I'm just going to take this halfway down, put it right in the center. And there we go. That is ready. We're going to take this and put it on the cool side of the grill. There we go. This is ready to start coming up to temperature on the cool side. I have the ThermalWorks app pulled up. We're gonna go ahead and set up our blue RFX meat thermometer. I went ahead and named the channel Ribeye Blue, and then we have our high alarm set. I wanna know when this hits right around probably 115 degrees. That's where I wanna go ahead and move it over and do that reverse sear. And for a low alarm, I wanna know if it ever drops below 32, because it should not drop below 32, considering it's in the 35 to 40s outside. So we are set up on that one, and we are currently cooking this ribeye. We also have the RFX gateway with the wired probe telling us we're running right about 199 degrees on that cool side. Now that's totally fine with me because I want to bring that up nice and low and slow before we sear it at the end. In just a second, we're going to get the other steak on the grill, but first I want to pass a question off to you. How do you cook your steak on the grill? Are you a sear first or reverse sear, or are you something else entirely? Let us know down in the comments, and let's help each other make a better steak in the backyard. It's time to put the direct sear steak on. We're gonna take our RFX meat. This is the one with the green label on it. Put it right inside the steak. Go right in the middle there so we can see how it does during the cook. And then we're gonna put this right on the hot side. We're gonna go for about 90 seconds on each side before we move it to the cool zone and get a really good sear on here. All right, we are nice and hot right over this direct flame. Here we go. It's been 45 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it, get our crosshatch marks. See how that looks? Nice sear on that steak already. We're gonna go ahead and go the other direction and get some sear marks going the other way. All right, that's it for side number one. Time for side two. Good look for side one. And then the rotation for side two. All right, that is it for the sear over here. Time to rescue this ribeye from the flame. We've got a great looking crust, and it's time to go ahead and put this on the cool side and let it finish coming up to temperature. So right there, we'll let it come up to temperature, and then it's time to sear the reverse sear steak. It's time to set up our temperature in this thermometer. We're gonna go ahead and set our high alarm to 130 degrees, which is where we're gonna go since we've seared this. And we're gonna go ahead and set our low temperature. We don't even need to have that on because we already know that we're well above the low temperature. Now, we've already done the sear and we're still only at 51.2 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's got a ways to go to finish that internal part of the cook. Our reverse sear steak has hit 117 degrees internal. It's time to go ahead and get this one seared, so let's put this on the hot side of the grill. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cross hatch this first side, moving the steak the other direction to finish off the sear on that first side. Time to flip our reverse sear steak onto side number two. All right, we have finished our sear on both sides, and our reverse sear steak is done. We're gonna go ahead and put a little butter on top, cover it with foil, and then we are ready to run this comparison test. We've hit 125 internal in our second ribeye. We're gonna go ahead and take it off and put it on our prep and serve tray, let it rest for a few minutes, and then we can have a taste test. By the way, if you're getting value out of this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you want more videos just like this. Our steaks have rested. They are at our temperature that we're gunning for. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a couple of slices to be able to feed our taste testers today. So everybody's gonna have one bite of each, and we're gonna have people decide if there's one they like better than the other and why. Okay, we're sharing a microphone. We're married, it's totally fine. Basically, we have one of each steak here, a bite of each in front of her. She doesn't know which one's which. Go ahead and take a bite, tell us what you taste, what you think, and then I'll let you know which one is which.
Both steaks were delicious. I enjoyed them both and can't wait to eat more bites of them. But I'd say my preference was the second bite. It was a little less done than the first one, and just seemed more moist and more tender to me. They were both very good though.
This is Josh. We're sharing a mic. We're not married, but Josh does do a lot of the shooting around here. If you've never seen him on camera, well, it's because he's always behind the camera sometimes whenever Melissa's not. So Josh is going to take a bite and let us know which one he thinks is better.
A. Okay, B. Of the two, B was a little more, I would say, dense, had a little more chew to it. Still moist, still tender. Both were well seasoned, but it had a little more chew to it than A. I prefer A because it was the more tender piece of the two. But both were really, really delicious.
And last but not least, I get a shot. Here is bite A. That was bite A. I can't compare it until I have bite B. That's this one. Bite A for me was a little less sear on the outside. Bite B had more sear on the outside. I would say bite A was a little tougher and bite B was a little bit more tender. Now, I know the difference because I was able to look at them and tell the difference. But really what it came down to is I was able to get a harder sear by the sear first method and then let it continue to come up to temperature. With the reverse sear method, I pulled that off at 115 degrees and then seared it. And I know that even searing it after 115, it still got too far, even with this thick cut ribeye. So for me, I actually really do like the sear first method and then let it come up to temperature over time. So that's my guess on here, and I'm pretty sure I'm right because I cooked it. It's time for Uno to give it a sample and see what he thinks.
I didn't tell you to get it.
All of our backers from our Kickstarter campaign should have received their rewards by now, but we still want to thank some of the people who made it possible for us to get our spice blends into bottles and launch our first physical product. I want to say a special thank you to Troy Breidenbach, who jumped in at the grill coach level and will be getting some one-on-one time with me here in the very near future. Thank you, Troy, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you soon. Now that brings me to an exciting announcement. Thanks to all of our Kickstarter backers, the Barbecue Lab online store is now officially open. You can head to thebarbecuelab.com, click on the shop tab, and you can order our new spice blends and even some custom merch from our brand new online store. If you're watching this video, you're the first to know. So check it out and give these new spice blends a try for yourself and up your grilling game. For my final thoughts, here's how it went. I really thought that the reverse sear would still be one that I liked better, but it turns out I really did like the sear first method as my preferred method. There's a couple reasons why. The first reason is I was able to get the full sear that I really wanted on both sides of that steak because I was starting from completely raw. I got a great sear on the front, got a great sear on the back, and then I just let the grill continue to bring it up to temperature on that 200 to 250 degree indirect side. The second thing I liked was the speed at which it cooked. I was able to get that cook done faster than the reverse sear because that initial high heat sear brought the internal temperature of everything up a little bit faster, and it just actually finished a little quicker than the other. I like the speed that we were able to get that done in. Does this mean that I'm going to completely abandon the reverse sear method? Not at all. There's still plenty of times where I'd use the reverse sear method, but I know that we're going to put this in our toolbox of things that we can use here at the lab to be able to continue to test this method as it goes along. But for me, I'm voting sear first, bring it up indirect as it continues to get to the temperature that we want. Now I pulled this off at 125 degrees and that got me to a perfect medium rare. So let me know down in the comments, do you think that's right? Is that the way to go? Or are you team reverse sear and this is completely wrong? Either way, let us know down below. I'm David from the Barbecue Lab. I want to give a special thanks to Melissa and Josh for being willing participants to eat some ribeye, and a special thanks to you for checking out this video. Be sure to smash like if you got value, and we can't wait to see you on the next one.